the big DC Extended Universe news out of SDCC 2017 is that Ben Affleck is still playing Batman. For now. And we all get in terms of optics that that's really bad, right? Like, that's actually potentially worse as an indicator of the health of a multimedia franchise than if they had actually just said, hey, Ben wants to do other stuff, but we've got it worked out, he is the new guy, we've already signed for Batman. Like, if you showed up to a state of the company meeting at work and they said, okay, the really big good news we have about the company's future is we will still exist tomorrow and probably also the day after that, you'd say that sounds bad. Especially since, in case you weren't passing the detail, neither Affleck nor anyone else actually refuted any of the rumors initially floated by The Hollywood Reporter and elsewhere a mere day before the big show, which did not say that he was already bailing or that he somehow wouldn't finish his commitments to Justice League or Matt Reeves-directed Batman movie. The rumor, which again no one has confirmed or denied, was basically that he wasn't looking to continue the commitment for the long haul as an inter-feature face of the franchise player like Robert Downey Jr., Samuel L. Jackson, and Scarlett Johansson have been for the Marvel movies, and that Warner Brothers was already in the process of figuring out how they move forward after he was out. Now, make no mistake, if that did happen, if Ben Affleck finished up reshoots on Justice League, did the Batman, or whatever they end up calling the solo movie, now that Reeves has tossed out Affleck's original script, that would be a pretty damn big deal. But given some of the other big news and reveals spinning out of Comic-Con, it feels a lot more plausible to me than it did even one day ago. Why? One word. FLASHPOINT. But before I explain that, let's just acknowledge the adjacent fact that however Justice League turns out, and I'm sorry guys, the movie still looks pretty bad. Maybe not Batman v Superman bad or Suicide Squad bad anymore, but pretty close to X-Men Apocalypse bad. And again, I'm sorry, nobody wants good DC movies more than me, but this looks like what it looks like. But either way, it's going to be one of the weirdest goddamn big releases ever in terms of trying to review or parse out. Everyone already knows they reshot and retooled a bunch of it several times while they were still in the main process of production, because they jumped straight into shooting the damn thing before it became abundantly clear that Batman v Superman was going down as one of the most widely hated blockbusters in recent memory, and that audiences had overwhelmingly rejected the gritty 90s edgelord aesthetic that had been planned as the overriding tone of the DCEU. Now the damn thing has a whole other new director, another new round of reshoots and retoolings, and we now know that at least some of that earlier rumored behind-the-scenes turmoil in part involved the original director and producer team suffering an unimaginably horrible family tragedy. I mean, do you want to be trying to parse out all those moving pieces in a goddamn movie review, especially the part that's so much more important and human than a goddamn review or a movie? I mean, I don't, and I do this for a living. Hell, I already put a whole entire Batman v Superman project on indefinite hold because it felt gauche to be saying anything negative toward the Snyder family at this juncture in their lives. The only thing I want to say to them is I hope they persevere, because that really sucks. But when it comes to Warner Brothers and the movie itself, if you look at the moves they're making with the rapidly shifting future lineup and talent pool, it looks more and more apparent that instead of setting the stage for the next decade of DC movies, Warner Brothers is prepping to release what can't help but be an awkward, odd Justice League movie, hope it's better received than the last team-up, and then move on from there, letting the subsequent solo movies rise and fall on their own, and taking another swing at cohesion with whatever the now long ways off and apparently no longer a direct continuation sequel Justice League 2 turns out to be. But for now, what does that have to do with Affleck and other potential cast changes and/or actor defections? Well, once again, FLASHPOINT. See, the other big eyebrow-raising news coming out of the Warner presentation in Hall H was that the Ezra Miller starring solo Flash movie, which has already burned through 2 whole directors and Rao knows how many screenplays, making it the second most troubled DC movie after Justice League, has now been scrapped entirely. Instead, Miller will be the presumed main character in a yet undefined feature called FLASHPOINT, and here's where that gets interesting. Maybe. FLASHPOINT was also the name of a DC Comics storyline wherein Barry Allen, aka The Flash, uses his powers to travel back in time and prevent the death of his mother. However, his actions end up creating a dystopian dark future version of the DC universe when he returns, so Barry has to go bouncing around through the alternate timelines, trying to undo whatever it was he did, with the story ultimately serving as the narrative pretext for a line-wide, mythology-simplifying reboot of the entire DC universe that was called the New 52. Now, that storyline was already adapted into an animated movie and a season of the Flash TV series, but would that also be the purpose of a Flashpoint movie? A canonical, fan service managing vehicle for Warner Brothers, Jeff Johns, and the whole DCEU production family to acknowledge without admitting any wrongdoing that they fundamentally screwed up the launch of this damn thing, and using Barry mess with the timeline as an excuse to keep the stuff people thus far like while changing or throwing out all the stuff they didn't? Because if so, I've heard a lot worse ideas, folks. It still feels like a big leap to be getting mainstream audiences on board with the kind of minutia-obsessed continuity porn that drove casual readers away from DC in droves in the first place. I mean, hell, even X-Men Days of Future Past only used its reboot card to erase 2 movies everyone hated, and that series never really took its own timeline seriously to begin with. But from a filmmaking perspective, there's real possibilities in there. Flashpoint could be a DCU answer to Civil War, i.e. a team-up that's not really a team-up because it's mostly cameos, and you could do fun alternate character bits like what if evil Wonder Woman, or what if Chinese Superman, or what if more Adam West-like Batman, Batman, but more substantively, it'd offer a test for big potential changes. They could load this movie up with new and or massively retooled characters, see who or what pops big in real time via social media, and then start adding or subtracting to and from future movies based on that response from the audience. It would also conceivably give the whole DCEU experiment a free pass to undo stuff that no longer feels like it was a good idea, i.e. destroying Metropolis, Batman mutilating people, Superman dying in the first place, Joker being this thing. Hell, it'd also be as good an excuse as any to just say, oh yeah, Batgirl and Nightwing both exist now, and a bunch of the TV people are here too. What, they've always been around, didn't you notice? And yes, it would also be the perfect way, if I said if necessary, to recast Batman while letting Ben Affleck keep his dignity. Pick a new actor, introduce him as an alternate Batman Barry meets while bouncing around through the multiverse and Flashpoint, have him kick a whole lot of ass and get totally awesome to get over with the audience, and then when the universe goes back to normal at the end, one of the things that's changed, but only the Flash is aware of it, is that this guy is now playing Batman and Bruce Wayne going forward. Then you just keep on trucking, letting the we mean it this time second stab at a cohesive DC Extended Universe proceed on schedule, and if this or that minor piece of continuity doesn't seem to fit right anymore, well, shit man, Flashpoint, what are you gonna do? Now, I'm not gonna say I want this to happen, because shit, I would really rather not see every other studio in Hollywood discover that making an entire movie that everyone feels obligated to see because it explains why your other recent movies sucked is a thing you can do, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't almost excited to see them try. I don't know that this would actually work in terms of changing the long-term fortunes of this whole boondoggle, but if the trade-off is getting a whole bunch of fresh ideas launched all at once and letting Superman etc. out of the corner they've been painted into, maybe it's worth a shot. Plus, guys, have you seen how sad Ben Affleck always looks now, even when he's supposed to look excited? I mean, come on, don't make him keep doing this shit. Be nice. Hey gang, here's a question that keeps coming up. If your handle is Movie Bob, where are your movie reviews? Well, my old reviews are in a lot of places. You'll find many of them on my YouTube channel, but you'll find the brand new ones on Geek.com, an awesome site that's also your one-stop news source for science, TV, gaming, technology, nerd culture, the works. You can find all my reviews directly by going to geek.com/author/bchipman, because that's my real name, and you can get regular updates on all my reviews and all of Geek.com's other great content by signing up for their kick-ass newsletter at subscribe.geek.com. And don't forget to also subscribe to the Geek.com YouTube channel, where you'll find the videos that accompany my reviews and tons of other great content too. Remember, that's Geek.com, the Geek.com newsletter, and Geek.com on YouTube. Make sure you don't miss out on all the latest Movie Bob reviews. You can also check out my own new website, Movie Bob Central, where you'll find my blog, links to all my work, and shop for my books, ebooks, and future Movie Bob products. And please remember to like these videos, share them with all of your friends, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching another Movie Bob production.